行驶800米后，稍向右转。稍向右转。
CBC Radio 1 in northwestern Ontario, I'm Olivia Levesque in the Thunder Bay newsroom. Wildfire crews are paying close attention to a fire burning east of Cat Lake First Nation. The fire, known as Sioux Lookout 18, was first confirmed on June 7th, but officials say it has grown significantly this weekend. As of this morning, 22 forest fires are burning in the northwest region. And as Ontario's fertility rates continue to drop, the government announced funding to increase access for fertility treatments last week. It's a total investment of $250,000 over 3 years, and it will go toward a tax credit for fertility treatments and increasing the number of clinics that are part of the Ontario Fertility Program. The tax credit of up to $5,000 a year would apply to future IVF cycles, along with other expenses like medications. 50 clinics are currently covered under the program, and others now have until the end of July to apply. And turning now to take a look at the weather across the northwest. Today, a mix of sun and cloud with a 60 to 70% chance of some showers this afternoon, with a risk of a thunderstorm for areas west of Thunder Bay near the Manitoba border. Temperature highs ranging between 15 and 21 degrees for Thunder Bay and areas to the east. Warmer further west, with temperature highs between 23 and 25 degrees, plus the humidex for Kenora, Dryden, Fort Francis, and Sioux Lookout areas.
Hello again, I'm Matt Galloway, and you're listening to The Current. Many small communities across this country are struggling to survive for all kinds of reasons. Aging populations, dying businesses, the lure of urban centers. But there is one isolated place in British Columbia that is trying to buck that trend. Powell River is home to about 13,000 people. For more than a century, it relied on a pulp and paper mill to keep the economy going. But that mill shut down 2 years ago, leaving a void that the community is trying to fill. And it's getting help from an unlikely source, a conductor who has performed with some of the world's biggest orchestras, who's bringing more than just music to Powell River. Today, the CBC's Liz Hope brings us her documentary, War and Peace.
I was flabbergasted that Putin invaded Ukraine.
It was February of 2022. Arthur Arnold was the music director of the Moscow Symphony Orchestra.
Well, everybody was shocked. I mean, I could have waited and see what happened, but I felt so upset that this happened. So I came to the conclusion, I cannot live as myself if I don't make a standpoint.
And he had a big stage. The Grand Hall of the Moscow Conservatory. That's where this video on YouTube was recorded. Arthur is wearing a tuxedo, tails and all. He snaps his baton dramatically. The violinists raise their bows, waiting for his cue. He's clearly in full control of one of the world's prestigious orchestras.
So I asked the orchestra, can we as an orchestra make a statement against the war? And they said, no, we cannot. It would bring us all in danger. We are not even allowed to say the word war. So then I asked, can I make a statement as your music director against the war? Just me. No, you will bring us in danger. I said, then press me on with only one thing, and that is to resign, and with that make a protest. I don't think I could have lived with the idea that I didn't speak up to such a tragic decision that somebody makes. I want the opposite through music. So easy, go. Finito. I think back with a lot of gratitude but also amazement. Like, why me? Did I really do that? Was I on that very famous stage all the time? But life takes you somewhere else, and just be here now in the moment and enjoy it.
That somewhere else is Powell River. A small city on the mainland of British Columbia.
Thank you for sailing the BC ferry.
But it takes 2 ferries to get here from Vancouver.
Okay, let's get the stuff. Cello, I want.
Arthur is packing up the things he needs for his day.
Beautiful instrument. Okay,
His cello.
Okay, Arco, come on.
And Arco, his little dog who goes with him pretty much everywhere.
Arco, it's okay.
Arthur's wearing outdoorsy pants. The kind that swish a bit when you walk, and a black jean jacket.
Oh, my nice old car.
The cello goes in the trunk.
Arco in the back, so she doesn't have to sit on your lap.
Arco, probably slightly reluctantly, gets put in the back seat.
No, she's fine there.
First stop, the grocery store.
Okay, let's find some toothpaste. I'm big shopping. Hey, lover, at the grocery store here.
Lover is Kim, Arthur's wife. She's one of the reasons he ended up living here. He met her while visiting Powell River to conduct at Cathalmew, an international choir festival.
Hey, how are you?
The other reason is Prisma, the Pacific Region International Summer Music Association.
I love Prisma. I'm gonna get my t-shirt. Oh yeah? Do we have a t-shirt?
He started it, And every year it puts on a 2-week classical music festival at the end of June.
Don't you love when you were young, those festivals? And there was stage on the back.
Arthur can't even get toothpaste without running into people who want to talk about Prisma.
Okay, see you.
The festival is a big undertaking. Guest artists from orchestras like Berlin, New York, and Toronto come to Powell River to teach and perform.
If you think about Prestige and 2,000 people hall where the big Russian musicians have performed, including Shostakovich and all those. And here we are in the Evergreen Theater, 700 seats. We are so lucky to have it, by the way. Like, you have a stage that fits an orchestra and that has such good acoustics. But yes, if you look at the Prestige, but in essence, it's no different. We make music for other people. I feel connected to people. Sometimes I feel more connected here in a smaller hall where you can see the eyes when you turn around. And then the pressure of having to go in front of a Russian orchestra and play Russian music. You cannot just fool around. Not that I'm fooling around here, but the pressure is just way less. And I'm older and I'm hopefully a little bit wiser. And these days I really feel like, yeah, I don't have to prove myself anymore and just enjoy what I do.
Arthur also chooses students from around the world to learn and perform at Prisma. He says the more relaxed atmosphere is important for them too.
Our profession is very competitive. I want them at Prisma to be able to actually enjoy the music for what it is without feeling they have to compete with each other and with themselves. So I encourage them to make mistakes. Yes, it has to be in tune. Yes, it has to be rhythmical, of course. But that's not the goal in itself. The goal is to connect with each other, with our audience, to bring something, to give something, to create beauty.
Those goals, though, to connect people and create beauty, go far beyond the 2-week festival.
We are at the town site market. That's a new home for Prisma.
The new home for Prisma is still under construction.
This is the original town site, yes. The first part of Powell River that was built when they put the mill here that you see right here. That's now closed, permanently closed. So let's go check it out.
That quiet pulp and paper mill is the reason Powell River exists. The closing left a hole in this town that people like Arthur and City Council are trying to fill. Councillors are here today for a tour of the town's newest amenity.
Hi!
Arthur was looking for a new office for Prisma when he stumbled across this space.
This is it. This is it. Yes, this is going to work. I don't know how yet, but it's going to work. And that's how the idea of an arts hub started.
His vision is to create office space and storage for arts groups here. But the main attraction is the large open space in the middle. There's high ceilings and big windows overlooking the mill and the ocean.
Now, this is our main beautiful, if you want, concert hall. You can hear the acoustic is very nice and vibrant. You hear my voice echo, and actually I brought my cello to not only let you see the space, but so you can hear the space.
You know, it feels like the building is rejoicing to hear your music. It's been here for so long. I can speak from, having walked through this as a 5-year-old.
Rob Southcott is a city councillor. He was born and raised in Powell River. He plays the trumpet, the guitar, the bass, and of course he sings in a choir.
There was a vision that culture was extremely important, so both sports and arts, mostly music, was very important right from the very beginnings of this community.
This is something that many in Powell River like to point out. It's no accident that this small city has a big connection to the arts. The Powell River Company built the pulp and paper mill, and the town for that matter, in the early 1900s. They scouted around the world for workers, for people who could build dams and work in the mill. But they also looked for people with other skills, like music. They were following something called the Garden City concept. It's an urban planning movement that aimed to build cities that were also great places to live.
Culture and social wealth is our true wealth here, so it's so wonderful. And we are, I don't know of a more wealthy community anywhere I've ever been.
And I might have to go to the back and actually teach a lesson here.
Walter Martella glances at his watch. He's sharply dressed in a suit vest and jeans.
I have to go. Yeah.
Walter just finished conducting a youth choir. Now he's racing off to teach a private lesson. He promises to catch up later at the men's choir rehearsal.
At 7:30. Meet me in the hallway there. Yeah.
Walter is the conductor and music director at the Powell River Academy of Music. He's also the artistic director of Cathalmu, another big festival hosted here. It brings choirs from around the world. This year, from as far as Taiwan and Slovenia. But this choir, Cor Musica, will be performing too.
Okay, here we go, Anne.
The choir was originally started by the mill as a way to build morale. Walter's history in Powell River can be traced back to the mill as well. His family moved from Italy because his dad got a job there. His mom wanted her kids to fit in, so she bought a piano.
I think the story, she paid like $350 and like a couple gallons of my dad's wine is the story for it.
Then she signed them up for music lessons.
It just seemed to me as growing up that everybody played music. I would go down the street and a few friends, we would play music together. I remember being part of like, 4 different groupings of young people playing music on weekends together. Okay, so here we go. Some enchanted even will. It was always part of my life. I just didn't had any other experience. And nice and soft and smooth. And you're called some enchanted.
Walter sings, plays piano and the accordion. He studied the trumpet at university. He's pretty sure if it wasn't for Powell River and all the musicians mentoring him, life would have been quite different.
Like if my family stayed in Italy, it's likely I would have been a carpenter, because that's what my father did before he came. He had his own business there. So I would think likely would have been that.
行驶400米后，向左转。向左转。 行驶200米后，您的目的地就在左侧。您的目的地在左侧。
Showed up to play his show, and it just calmed the entire room. It calmed everybody, I think, around the table.